What's up, fellas? This is Fastnigellan bringing you another Company of Heroes 2 replay. This is a 1v1 on the map The Wolf's Lair. It is an online friendly between me and my brother. That's myself in the bottom left as the Americans. And in the top right we have my little brother as the Germans. Right away he's selecting the guard rifle combined arms tactic. Love the hit dirt, love the guards rifle infantry, love the conscript assault package upgrade. Gun howitzer, not too sure about. Never seen anybody use it to any great effect, as I've stated before. As my brother's dealing with some screen issues here, I'll look at our bulletins. I'm employing quite a heavy investment into the rifleman and also into the anti-tank gun here.
Rifle squad ready for action.
Fairly appropriate for my doctrines there. And my brother fielding just a mixed bag of stuff: anti-tank gun, heavy machine gun, and conscripts. So as the screen issues are sorted out, just some early action here. Rear echelon troops swinging out around the right hand side, moving down to the fuel point, getting a foothold on the fuel. And Pvt.Holt swinging up around with his conscripts and his engineers, capping this isolated ammo point and hoping to connect that with the control point here. So yeah, guys, I posted up my very first vlogs. Actually went out to try and get a new mic today. In the vlogs you can see that I was quite unsuccessful in getting that, but I ended up just going and getting it after work. So hopefully the sound is a bit better today. As we see my brother making a decent push into the mid, looking to cap that midpoint. A little does he know, though, I have two riflemen closing in on the position. Myself making great use of the medium cover here and moving outside of the Molotov toss. Great decision by my brother, but being outnumbered, he does have to retreat. As I follow up that attack with capturing the mid, having the rear echelon cap the closest victory point position, hoping to take advantage early in the game with that victory point count. Moving in with some conscripts, but outnumbered, so he's just going to back off. You never want to go into a battle that you can't win, obviously. And when you're outnumbered like that, the best choice is just to either retreat or maneuver out. So here we see my brother taking control of the closest point to his base. Doing that a little late, but doing it nonetheless. As we can see here, another squad of riflemen swinging up, pushing deep into his territory at the very top here. And the rear echelon doing the same on the right flank. With some action in the middle, another Molotov being thrown. And as I try to maneuver out of there, I just end up retreating. This is a fight that I definitely can't win. My brother converging onto the midpoint here and dealing with my riflemen with a squad of conscripts taking the heavy cover. And for some reason, see, I don't know if the heavy cover applies when they're facing the opposite way, but I maneuver out of there nonetheless, knowing that he has the advantage. taking refuge in the little shrubs. Now I remember, especially in the early to mid game, my micro was really slipping. You can see guys just standing around, not really doing anything. I'm not healing, not reinforcing at all. My brother did a good job of keeping my attention away from some key activities that I needed to be doing as my brother throws a Molotov cocktail, scaring away my rear echelon. At the same time, capping the mid. Really building up that conscripts to 3 squads. Ideally, he should have more than that, but he is doing a good job of map control, especially in the center here. Here we have just dual rifleman squads just sitting around doing nothing. Just great micro on my behalf. With the solitary rear echelon pulling back, hoping to take refuge in this firing position. Fairly decent positioning. You can see the arcs of fire are meeting the edge of the bushes here, which is what you want to do. You don't want to give any exposure to the flanks. Bringing my lieutenant squad into the center here, hoping to decap this point, which he does, which I do, I should say, but completely surrounded. I really needed to move out of there. Unfortunately, I was not looking, and he gets off a wonderful Molotov. And just standing in the fire, obviously, that's the only thing that can happen. So my brother, again, taking control of the center here, as my 2 riflemen are put back into the fight, swinging around, capping this ammo point, hoping to cause a cutoff. Moving up 2 more rifleman squads and getting a Pathfinder squad. Pathfinders are probably one of my favorite units from the Americans.
System up and active.
I forgot to mention, obviously, going the airborne company. Probably not the greatest for this matchup. I mean, the airborne are super expensive, and
the capture point is under attack.
I find it really hard to make good use of the heavy machine gun. And of course the anti-tank gun airdrop is extremely useful, but again it's slightly challenging to employ that effectively. But I just love the airborne, so kind of got that nostalgia effect from the first game, Company of Heroes 1. As we see in the top here, riflemen moving in, getting suppressed by the machine gunner and the conscript. Good, excellent placement of the heavy machine gun in good cover in the trench. Unfortunately, the arcs of fire are not lined up properly, so my riflemen are getting a few free shots. And this is what I'm talking about, my micro slipping. I'm definitely looking someplace else, probably with my Pathfinders here. As a result, I lose my rifleman squad. Now my attention's here, and immediately I notice that I cannot win the fight, so I retreat.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. 57mm AT gun now deployable by air.
So my brother, even though he's cut off, he's taking control of both 2 out of 3 points, getting out those guards infantry. Probably my favorite Russian unit. Here we have a couple units of conscripts just standing around and on the move. And brother trying to deal with this annoying gun emplacement, fighting position. Probably not the wisest choice. Probably better to bring an engineer squad with a flamethrower to deal with this. But
Capture point is being overrun.
he is getting some experience for just sitting around here, but he really needs to be ganging up on me, using his strength. He is outnumbering me in his infantry. And you need to be outnumbering if you are the Russians. Here we have my captain squad along with a rear echelon and a rifleman blobbing up like a boss. I try and not do that, but it's really hard to micro that. And not really a big deal because I'm not in the fight, but you'll see some major blobbing in the upcoming fight. So here we see Malcolm, my brother Malcolm, taking the left side, top left side, trying to make a push around the top. Forgot to notice I got my beacon here put down by the Pathfinders just to warn me of any incoming troops coming at the around the top side here. Trying to re-establish my map presence here in the bottom and getting out a Stuart. I'm just observing the center here as he's drifting around that corner. Running into a couple of conscripts here and the guards troop, so really need to be careful of that with that light armor. You really got to be careful.
We got a rifle squad waiting for orders.
They just promoted us! About fucking time!
And my brother making good use of his distance here, keeping his conscripts with the rifles at bay, or at distance. But again, I have the same type of weaponry with my two units here. Retreating my Pathfinders, good timing too as he throws that Molotov. And my brother maneuvering out to take defensive positions near the middle victory point, as he moves up another engineer squad and conscripts. Trying to maintain that veterancy, but just getting harassed by the Stuart as he maneuvers out of there. Bringing up a conscript and a machine gun to the top here. So an excellent use of multi-pronged movements, showing some decent micro.
Area secured!
Of course, using the conscript package on his, or SMG conscript package on his conscripts, getting that double star veterancy, making excellent use. Here we see machine gun setting up against the Stuart, probably not a good idea, as the machine gun does absolutely nothing. And he retreats knowing that he cannot win. So myself trying to establish the map presence in the center here. Captain squad just chilling out. Just chilling. Just chilling. I really need to move out of there. Do something with that captain squad. So my brother keeping his conscripts at a distance with his SMGs, probably not the best. He probably just needs to get out of there. Getting that 1 star, causing my riflemen to retreat as he swings up his T-70 and backs it up with some guards. Excellent move. Excellent use of his numbers. And he will overwhelm very quickly as we bring up the Stuart, Sherman's little brother, Stuart. Sooner or later I'll get tired of that joke. And look at that. Just useless. Although for some reason it kept my brother from attacking or desiring to attack, as you'll see. Stuart taking some heavy damage. Let's see. Okay, so at this point, he really needs to have his medical field infirmary researched. It's way too late in the game now to not have that. Understandable to not have the anti-tank grenade package, as only a Sherman has been fielded out, or put on the field. But he really does need that extra healing power. Myself getting that ambulance out, not really putting it to any good use at this point in time, just kind of doing nothing. Of course, bringing in some paratroopers in that vanguard formation, but easily overwhelmed by these two conscript and the T-70 light tank, making short work of the paratroopers here. And it looks like I'm not really paying attention here. They needed to be retreated right away. My brother again taking control of this middle position, really hoping to establish an even front line, as he now does hold 2 points. My brother moving up with his with the bulk of his infantry, making a strong push through the center of the map, and myself not really having an answer to this. Here we see some extreme blobbing by my brother. He's just asking to get a mortar. Unfortunately, I don't have any mortars out in the field right now. There are some mines being laid. Awesome. Always good to see those mines, and always good to see some proactive action with his engineers, as they just talk about how proud they are with those mines. It's good, yeah. Here we have a major engagement. Looking to do a dance, getting close up. Fairly decent grenade. And a fairly good trade on my behalf. And there goes Stuart. The effectiveness of these Guards Rifle Infantry is great against those early game armor units. Extremely versatile. Though he is fielding quite a bit of manpower, he should be increasing his conscript count, or at least investing in some mid-game armor. Getting that tank battalion command, and of course getting that first tank out. So I guess that's what he was saving for.
The rifle infantry squads are now available.
Of course, employing that IL-2 Overwatch attack or ability, really keeping my my units at bay. Excellent placement of the water behind the sandbags and at a great distance, covering this point of attack here.
T-34 ready for combat.
I really should, I think by this time, I should have had my major out establishing a mid-battlefield retreat point next to my my ambulance. Oh, I didn't even see that. There it is. I just saw my guys chilling here and thought that I hadn't done that yet, but there you go. Probably not the greatest place to put all this, but it does do a pretty good job. And employing that artillery barrage from my major, obviously a waste. Tried to cancel it, but didn't cancel it in time. Retreating those guard infantry, great choice to get them refurbished. Does he have that field hospital? No, he doesn't have that field hospital yet, so he is able to replenish his numbers, but again his health is remaining quite low, which is actually a detriment to any engagements that he gets in. Severely disadvantaged with that. As we see somewhat of a stalemate, and my brother does have control of 2 points, so my victory points are beginning to deplete as we just speed it up here. Here we have some maneuvering by myself, trying to outflank this machine gun. He's suppressing my airborne troops as I try and move up just to get a grenade off. But I do have my Pathfinders getting on either side and taking out, neutralizing that machine gunner. We see the T-34 moving in here, putting into effect those rifle grenades, anti-tank rifle grenades, and making good use of my captain squad. I take out that tank. But in response, my brother brings up 2 conscript squads.
The enemy has 300 points remaining.
As he realizes he might be a little bit on the back foot here, losing that tank, but also bringing up his second tank. Again, dropping in rounds from that mortar. As I bring in what is this called, the P-47 rocket strike, hoping to inflict some damage on the tanks, on the units. Not doing a whole lot. As I retreat my guys back to this retreat point and get them all healed up so they can fight another day. Another strafe coming in, doing a bit more damage than the first time, doing some good damage versus the infantry. Or decent damage, I should say. One thing I will say is I kind of knew where the attacks were going to be coming from. Any attack coming from the left or the right would have made a huge difference. In fact, could have changed the tide of the war. He had discovered that I had my retreat point here. It's fairly wide open. He could have brought a tank or 2 up there, or a tank and some guards riflemen. As I swing from the top here, I mean, he should have seen my arc of attack and recognized that my recruit point was up there. But what else? Moving in just a single rifleman's or guards rifleman squad, looking to reinforce his tank here. Obviously, my riflemen having no answer for this, getting vetted up, but without paying attention, I lose a valuable squad of riflemen. But seeing the massive force here, retreating my Pathfinders. Bringing in another P-47 rocket strafe. Doing quite a bit more damage than the first time.
Guards troops ready for action.
But yeah, at this point I've lost all 3 points, and I honestly thought I was done. I didn't think I had a chance. But I did know that if I got out of Jackson, that would change the tide of this battle. So that was my mindset. I really wanted to sort of establish a front with my infantry and get out a Jackson tank as soon as possible to deal with those T-34s. Major engagement near the middle here, having the airborne at distance. Probably, I mean, you don't want to put them in the middle of that fight with that many infantry. So keeping at distance, popping smoke, recognizing that it might have been a fight that I couldn't win, as my brother pulls up with one guard's infantry squad just to poke in, see what's going on. As we see this tank, looks like the main gun is destroyed. I guess that's what that icon means. So he really needs to get this back to repair it. As I swing around with my infantry, dealing with this guards rifleman, forcing a retreat. With that mortar getting that first star of veterancy. Here we see another great engagement here in the middle. Here everyone looking to get a grenade off. Great grenade taking out that double vet conscript squad. My brother trying to chase down my airborne, but they'll get out. Taking some pot shots at these retreating infantry squads. Really watching my Pathfinders, trying to get them vetted up. They are super powerful as they gain experience. And getting my first Sherman out. Really needing to repair that tank, but a bit too late as I get the first shot hitting the wood there, unfortunately. And the second shot hitting that wood, unfortunately. 3 times a charm. Looking to cap this point down at the bottom here. Looking to gain the advantage once again. And this is where the tide of the war changes. Realizing how vulnerable my retreat point there with my ambulance was, I began moving. I think I moved it here, and then realizing that was wide in the open. As you can see, just swinging it in here. Fairly good position for that. Getting my machine gun, a captured machine gun, putting it into the building there. Looking to swing right here and flank the tank with some guards infantry. Really needing to get that DP light machine gun upgrade. They're just that much more powerful, the guards infantry, when they have that light machine gun. Instead, they're going to get massacred by my Sherman here. Really needing to retreat those troops. They're never going to win against a Sherman. Good job. You got to save that veterancy. Guards, infantry squad just sitting here looking pretty. As I bring up the Stuart. Again, he really needs to, unfortunately he loses that Vet 3 squad. Huge loss. As my brother bringing up a T-34, but unfortunately not getting a kill, and Sherman's little brother Stuart pretty angry that, that he tried to kill him. So he's going to get off a engine damaging shot, whatever they're called. Point blank engine shot. And hoping to get out there alive, as he does. Cute little guy. T-34 with the damaged engine, moving slowly, trying to finish what he started. Instead he's just going to sit there and mope. Bringing up the rear echelon to repair these units. By this time the Stuart, I should say, is kind of getting useless, but putting him to use wherever possible is my brother moving up here with some more infantry. Just the constant attacks in the center, I believe, is really what, well, among other things, what hurt my brother in the end. He needed to make use of the limited defense I had in the bottom and the top here. Bringing in his Vet 2 mortars. So again, making good use of the mortars. It would have been nice for him to have some DPS machine guns or a machine gun to use that in combination. T-34 taking out the Stuart finally. Rest in peace. Or as Erwin Rommel says, rest in pieces.
Fresh Guards troops are standing by.
Here we have another T-34 moving in, looking to avenge his twin. And again, gaining control of the center here. Now having 2 points and depleting my meter down to 60, 59. So during the match, I actually didn't know I was this low. I was just so concentrated on getting my tanks out. Here we have my first Jackson.
We are suffering vehicle losses.
Taking out that T-34. So of course the conscripts behind that heavy cover not getting suppressed. And dropping rounds on my machine gun.
We have taken the enemy down to 50 points.
And there we go, machine gun taken out, building destroyed by the mortar, so great job on my brother's part. Moving in with the infantry, looking to do some damage on this Sherman. Bringing in those guard squads, damaging the engine. He is point blank, so he does need to watch out. I do have the heat shot ability, or high explosive shot ability, so he does need to be careful on that. Here we have the T-34 facing the wrong way, realizing that he moves it around, facing the armor from the front, or to the front. But in the sights of the Jackson, it's only a matter of time. My brother identifying that he's got too many losses, and look at that range. Backing out, but pursuing with the Jackson, looking to get that kill. Got him.
The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles.
So So at this point, he is fielding. My brother's fielding quite a bit of ammo. He needs to be making use of that by employing his IL-2 attacks.
Conscripts at our disposal.
And he really needs to get out. Seeing that Jackson, he really needs to get out the tank destroyer that he has. What's it called again? Oh, he doesn't even have the building built. So yeah, a couple things. He doesn't have the field hospital. Doesn't yet have the heavy tank facility, whatever it's called.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
And at this point in the game, late game, you do need to have those things. Obviously, the field infirmary needs to have that at the beginning. As a result, he is spending a lot of manpower on reinforcements rather than getting them healed up for free, or at the cost of the field hospital. So I should be sending some rear echelon to repair my Sherman, as its engine is destroyed or disabled. Moving up with a solitary guards rifleman, hoping to poke and prod at my line. And moving in with some conscripts. Airborne looking to get in close with those submachine guns, those Thompsons. My brother throwing a grenade, not doing a whole lot of damage.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
I believe I captured the mortar there. So dropping bombs on his infantry. Unfortunately, he doesn't have an answer to my Jackson here, but he probably could have swung in to take out the mortar. Jackson can get lucky getting a pot shot off, but with no machine gun, it's not quite as much of a worry as my Sherman would be. Here we go with another T-34. Really needs to move in with his infantry first, knowing that that I've got a Jackson there. But again, this is kind of a lost cause if he doesn't have his tank hunter.
We have lost one of our armored vehicles.
Trying to get behind cover those guards riflemen. Trying to do some damage, but I think they've dropped their... Oh no, he's still got the anti-tank gun. Getting a lucky shot off there, taking out one of the conscript squads, getting off that anti-tank grenade and retreating. Oh wow, what a shot.
Our points have fallen to 300.
So just speeding it up here, it looks like the battles have turned, the war has turned. The tide of the battle has turned.
Conscripts at our disposal.
Getting some good map control, healing my guys and moving them out, trying to take the center point again.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Healing up my tanks there.
Okay, that's the last one.
And this is where I dropped a heavy machine gun, got some riflemen
Our PPSHs are here.
blokes to
Now,
take
you
it and
may
set up
capture
here.
something.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Here we my brother moving up with some conscripts here, all with their SMGs, so great use of the ammunition.
Our PPS.
But again, moving into the center without any armor, without any anti-tank guns. That would be probably his most viable option right now. I mean, he does have enough fuel right now for another tank, but the T-34s are not doing a whole lot. So what I like to do is if my my armor's not very effective, I like to get those anti-tank guns out. And here we go. My brother calling it quits here. Realizing the match is over. And there we go. So just a few things here. not having that field hospital set up, not able to heal his guys, spending a lot of money replenishing his troops instead of getting free health replenishment. Also not building a heavy tank depot, not able to get those tank destroyers out. I think they're the IS-2s. That would have made a huge difference getting out my Jackson with that range. And continually fighting in the center here. Always going in the center. I knew exactly where he was attacking. He made little attempts, if none, to flank from the top or from the bottom. These two fighting positions, I think, were a deterrent from him, but him knowing that, or thinking that, I mean, he should have thought to attack down here. He could have taken these things out easily. It would have made a huge difference to get flanking attacks from the top or from the bottom. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.